Let me open your mind with this one notion that will aid you in your journey. It's a very subtle notion, perhaps even reclusive when the tides begin to turn and you're becoming swept away in the fullness of the moment. That notion, my friend, is this: your potential is greater than your obstacle. You see, potential is an intangible but powerful. Nonetheless, when put into force, obstacles can seem like impossible barriers to conquer, but that is because they are illusionary and persist by our inability to have more faith in our potential than in their otherwise impermanent fixture in our minds. Even the very laws of the universe demonstrate that nothing is permanent, that even objects that are stationary still vibrate and decay from their current states. This is called rest energy. What does a solid object like a boulder have to do with potential? Everything is connected and everything changes. The one great constant in this universe is change, therefore no boulder or obstacle is ever truly permanent. This realization alone shows that the mind can decide whether a thing is possible or not, whether an illusion persists or gives way to the will. In the grand scheme of things, potential is a construct framed by the mind, or when perceived by others, framed by the collective mind known as consciousness. Knowing your limitations is perfectly fine, but that old adage of where there is a will, there is a way comes rolling back into the forefront as an absolute virtue. But to consciously accept that an obstacle is permanent is to accept it as a condition of your life or your level of success. You can only advance as far as you develop, so with that in mind, we see that the obstacle isn't permanent, and that a made-up mind is as powerful as potential. Equally, applying the sentiment that the obstacle can be moved means that examination of the circumstance and of one's own understanding are required. If done properly, thoroughly and honestly, isn't it then likely that the answers appear? If the answer is to develop more skills or to increase a single skill, or to seek out others with those skills, or to develop a better understanding before applying technique, then there is a solution and the obstacle is conquered. The obstacle has no power to conquer us, but our mind has that very power, but it also has the power of potential, that hidden force that we can utilize if we put more stock in it than we do. It's opposition. I've heard it said that life acts as a pendulum that swings both ways. Our thoughts are like that, you know. They say yes to a thing until that thing brings them to saying no, and vice versa. And what we can accept today becomes intolerable tomorrow. But if the thing was good the first, what has made it sour on the second thought? Perhaps it is that it is only as good as we make it, not accept it. Perhaps we accepted it when it was made good by another, but we have that potential to do so as well, to make a thing good for us and others.